Madini Mazimba.
Madini Mazimba.
Madini Mazimba.
Madini Mazimba, I'm back again, and today I'm giving you the 8th episode of the series, Best Albums from Zimbabwe. Now, I created this series for those people who are curious, who want to know, want to learn more, not and enjoy Zim music, be it local people, local Zimbos, or even foreign people. If you just want to learn and enjoy more about Zim music, this is the platform for you. So, I've tried to cover as many genres as I can, because, I know a lot of us, we prefer a lot different genres. So, I've tried to cover all the biggest, all the known genres that are in Zimbabwe. We have Sungura, we have Chimurenga, we have some traditional music, we have R&B, hip-hop, all the other genres that are in the music industry in Zimbabwe today. So, just scroll back and you never know, you may find your new favorite, album, artist from Zimbabwe. Now, as I did for all the past episodes, I will be giving you 5 albums per episode. Now, without wasting much time, let's just get to the 5 albums for this episode. And the first album I'll be talking about is the album From Where I Stand by Prince Mafukidze. Prince Mafukidze, when this album came, he was a household name. And this is the album that contained the classic track, Chitsike. I know a lot of people, I know you love that track. And if you listen to a lot of gospel shows or on the local radio stations, that track is played quite a lot. It may be used as in the background, but it's definitely beloved and a classic gospel track. This album also contained tracks such as, Handrare, Missing You, which is a love track, a very lovely gem. Another track is Crossroads, which a lot of people love. It's more like a personal song. If you're just conflicted, if you do not know what you're supposed to do at a certain moment, just cry out to the Lord. I'm at the crossroads. I don't know. Am I going to chenda kumbere or chenda kumashure? Just being confused at the stage in your life. So this is a track that just talks about that situation. It's a lovely track. And like I said, this is the album that really made Prince Mafukidze. And if you listen to the album, the overview of this album, it's more like it's a mixture of R&B, and gospel music. So I'll post a link below to where you can go and stream and enjoy. The next album I'll be talking about is Tender by Roy and Royce. Now, Roy and Royce came into prominence in the early 2000s, just as when the urban grooves movement was starting to to set feet, starting to grow some roots in the music industry. These guys, they just took the music industry by storm. They gave us some very, very good tracks. They released a couple of albums, and for this time, I just chose this album Tender. It contained the title track Tender. I know a lot of you know the track. You can sing along to that track. It also contained another classic track, Ndiambuke. If you're one of those guys who are just anxious, curious to know where urban music came from, in terms of Zimbabwe, you're definitely going to come across Roy and Royce as you're going through the history of urban music. They're one of those guys that really pushed and just showed everyone, the young artists, Variko, we can also make music that's good, music that can resonate with a lot of people regardless of age. So this is one of those albums, that can really show you a glimpse into where the urban music in Zimbabwe came from. So again, I'll post a link below to where you can buy and stream this album and enjoy yourself. And the third album I'll be talking about is Tisaparadzani by Placidus Wenyika. Now, this is a masterpiece of an album. It's an amazing album. If you Google about Placidus Wenyika on the internet, you see a lot of people they refer to as the queen of ballad music. And this is the album that really ended that title. It's an amazing album. She was very, very instrumental in the ambient grooves movement days. Right now, if you ask a lot of people to give you their top artists from the urban grooves movement era, Placidus is definitely it's definitely going to show up on a lot of lists because she was just that amazing. And this album, like I said again, it's a masterpiece of an album. It contained the title track Tisaparadzani. There's another classic track Pasina Iwe. There's Wadarireiko. There's Ramangwana. It's definitely a packed album. So again, I'll post the link below to where you can buy and stream this album, and I promise you won't be disappointed. It's a fantastic album. And the next album I'll be talking about is Wacky by Tanga Sando. Now, Tanga Sando, when this album dropped, literally the whole Zimbabwe fell in love with Tanga Sando. It's just an amazing album. It's also another masterpiece of an album. People started referring to Tanga Sando as the king of township music, the king of township jazz. And if you listen to this album, you get to find out why. The sound, the overall feel of this album, it has this irresistible allure to it. When you listen to the tracks from this album, you cannot help it, but you just start singing along. You just start dancing along to the rhythm. It has this lively kind of vibe, and all of the tracks on this album, they sound very, very good. Now, Tanga Sando was also very good when it comes to the love song, and the title track of this album, the track Wacky. I know a lot of you can sing along to this track. It just talks about the soulmate, there is a perfect person for you out there. Your soulmate is out there. We all, it isn't just different things, but you know, the person with those things is ariko out there. Panasi na wake, wako ariko. You know, so it's a very, very lovely track. We also get some very lovely tracks such as Spider Moyo, there's Nyenyezi, there's Mariana. You know what? There's also my favorite track on this album, which is Buyera. Then talking about that township kind of feel, you know, we have the track Mahobo on this album. So this is very, this again, like the previous album I just talked about, this is also a very, very solid. It's a packed, very, very solid and packed album. And if you get yourself a copy of this album, again, you will not be disappointed. It's a very amazing album. And the last album, the fifth album I'll be talking about is the album Cana by Alexio Kawara. Now, I'm a huge, huge fan of Alexio Kawara. I think, you know, for some years now, he's been among my top 5 favorite artists from Zimbabwe when it comes to the urban music. You know what? Alexio has been on point since Pakapinda in the music game in the early 2000s. Now, you know what? He has released, I think, 5-6 albums, and most of the albums, they are worthy to be included on this album, because whenever Alexio drops something, it's always a classic, it's always on point. But you know, I chose this album, Cana, which came out in 2008, if I'm not really mistaken, because you know, this album signaled a massive change in Alexio Kawara's career. Because this album that came not when he announced, you know, from now on I'll be recording with a live band, I'll be performing with a live band. When he left, you know, the computer generated music behind. So this album, it just shows not a pivotal moment in his career. And not for a lot of people, I thought, okay, Alexio change. He's now going to be playing, you know, with a live band. He's moving to a more jazzy kind of music. Maybe he's going to lose his touch, he's going to lose his fans. But you know what, he defied the odds. Right, and on this album, you know what, it contained probably one of his most successful tracks to date, which is the track Shiner featuring Andy Brown. It's an amazing track. I know a lot of people love the track. I also love the track very, very much. Now, other tracks that this album contained, there's the track Nyayerudu, which is a very lovely track. There's the track Famba, and there's the track Karyoaka, and my personal favorite, you know, the track Umu. It's a lovely, lovely track. You know, I can just, I never get enough of that track. You know, I listen to that track a lot. So again, this is also another album. If you just get your copy on this album, you will not be disappointed. And so yeah, those are my 5 albums for this episode of Best Albums from Zimbabwe. So you know, just try to stream, just try to listen to all the albums that I've provided. And like I said, you know, you never know, you may fall in love with one of the artists that I've mentioned, and they may even become your new favorite artist. Now, you know what, I know a lot of you know a lot of amazing albums on the local scene, so just go in the comment section below, tell me other albums that you feel as if, you know, they deserve to be mentioned on a series such as this. And after that, come back, like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you again next time.